Hey there, one of the easiest techniques to do with the wet on wet is actually the heart. So it's perfect for right now. I am going to use the O for X's and O's. And I've got my red here. So when we do it the way we talked about in the previous video, circles are not even scary. Let's see, let's move the light a little bit here so I'm not blocking it so completely. So I anchor it, and as I squeeze gently, I'm going to lift up, and I am just placing this string down. I'm just barely pressing. And I overlapped a little bit there, which normally you can stop it right at the same spot. So I'm just gonna use my toothpick to kind of straighten that out just a smidge. You can do that or you cannot do that. That's not gonna end up bad if you don't, but I just like to even it out. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. I'm going to do the same thing on the outside. And I'm at an odd angle so that I'm not covering up the video. So if I mess up, you'll get to see it, because I can't really see. However, these are very forgiving. So, first of all, if I mess up to the point where it's just hideous, I can just shoosh a bunch of icing on it and it will be yummy, no matter how stupid I am about decorating. And if I do it in a way that's salvageable, more's the better. So I've got my flood consistency now, and you can wait a second if you want to do multiple ones with red. You can outline them with your piping consistency and then come back to flood all of them. Now, when you see these videos on Instagram, you will note they are a lot faster, because if we did it in the length of time it actually took to get all the way around a little tiny cookie, you would never be able to sit and watch the whole video unless you were learning how to do it yourself. So, my flood consistency, I can come back in here and I can shoosh with my toothpick. There's a couple spots here where I just want to shoosh a little bit, but I was pretty good about getting it all the way around without any issues. You see, it's just flattening itself out. You can also take your paper towel and kind of shake it out a little bit. So now I'm going to make pink hearts on this. So I've got my pink flood consistency, so the larger one that's like a little bit looser. And all I do is make little dots here. And you want to do it right away. Don't wait until it dries. That's why they call it wet on wet. And you can see that by the time I get around the circle, these dots over here have already sunk into the flood of the cookie. So then you just pick one and you stick your tool through it and go all the way around. just trace a circle. And then because we can't shoosh now, we don't want it to mess up our design. If there's any like little spots like that that don't want to be flat yet, you can just kind of go shoosh, shoosh, shoosh. And then you see if I can get you closer. Look at your pretty hearts. Super easy. Even little kiddos can do this one. Now, there's another wet on wet technique that I want to show you that is also super easy, but it looks really complicated. Oh, and see, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just move it over like that. Oh. I'm going to do this one on a heart. A little heart. Now, for this, you can just do, I'm going to teach you how to do rosettes. So you can just do the rosettes if you want, but you can also take a little bit of green food coloring, and I have my white flood consistency, and I have a little bowl, and I'm just going to put a little bit of white flood consistency, and I'm going to start with just one drop, whoops, 2 drops I guess, since actually 2 came out. Kind of crazy spots here. Not exactly where I wanted it, but oh, there we go. So I'm going to start maybe with that one, and that's probably enough. 1 tiny drop. That's all you need. And if you notice, it's water basically. So if it's too much food coloring and you're losing cohesion, you can drop a little bit more of your flood consistency in. That's pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside for just a second. You just wanna always have it ready before you start. So I'm going to do this in white. I'm gonna drop my little anchor, and then I'm lifting up, and I'm placing that line along the edge. You do not have to hurry. And then I'm going to take and fill this in with my flood consistency. Now, you've seen me go all the way around the heart. You don't have to do that. Oh, and sometimes when I get a little blorp where I don't want it, you can just kind of mix it with the tip of your piping bag. I had a little bubble there I didn't want. So I mixed it, yeah. And then that made me have a little too much over there, so I just can kind of scoosh this out without making any pressure on the bag. Okay. And I don't want to overfill it because I'm about to add stuff to it. So you're going to grab, there's a bubble right there, and you're going to take a look and see if this is the consistency you want. If there are any bubbles, you can pop them. They'll show up as little gray dots, kind of. I don't know if they'll be easy to see on the video where I'm poking, but here's a little one right there. So I'm just going to nab it. Sorry if you can see my head in there anywhere. I don't want you to have to look at my hairline instead of the cookie. So I've got my nice flooded heart here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pink flood consistency again. Anytime I'm doing wet on wet, I'm going to almost always be doing it with the flood consistency. So I'm going to make some dots here again. You can just kind of put them wherever you feel like. You can be very artistic and space them evenly and things, but remember that it's a cookie. Then I'm going to take my red, And I'm going to put them right in the middle of the pink. Kind of make it, or you know, off center a little bit, but kind of smaller than the pink. Then I'm going to take my nice toothpick, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just swirl. So I'm going to just swoosh through here and then wipe it off. Swoosh through here, wipe it off. Oops, I kind of went a little crazy on that one. Swoosh through here. So I think that one and that one's my favorite. That looks like the inside of a rose. Can you see it? Let's see. This looks like the inside of a rose, and the petals are really pretty. So now I've got my little rosettes, and you can make them bigger too if you have a bigger cookie, but this is a mini. Here, let me make a big one just to show you. Like right here. So if you have a bigger cookie, they can be as big as you want them to be. I hope I haven't dried too much to make this work, but we shall see. So just a little swirl. Here. Now, this is where our green comes in. So don't wait too long before you do this because it already will start to dry. But since it's liquid, it's going to be giving you a little bit of extra time. So what I'm taking here is just, I've got a little bit of it on the end of my toothpick, and I'm gonna dot it here, dot it here, dot it here. You can have 2 leaves or 1. You can have them be across from each other or next to each other. I'm gonna give a bigger leaf here for this guy. Just keep kind of dipping, and you're gonna dot, dot, dot. Oops, didn't get enough there. Okay, so once you've got your dots, you're gonna come back through, start in the middle, and kind of pull it out. Pull it out. Pull it out. Pull it out. And if you feel like you want to take your time with these a little bit more than I'm doing, you can do this in between. So you can dot and then pull out, and then do a new dot and then pull it out. In any case, you can see you can still fiddle with them as long as you like. Whoops. But there you've got little roses. Lovely. So I'll see you on another video.